Here is something that surprises an enormous number of people across the UK. Right now, thousands of pensioners are quietly paying bills they are simply not required to pay. Not because they have broken any rules, not because they have made a mistake on purpose, but because nobody ever told them they were exempt. These are not obscure loopholes buried in complicated legal documents. These are established entitlements, some of which have been in place for many years. They apply to everyday household costs, the kind of bills that arrive month after month and quietly reduce the money available for everything else. The 5 we are covering today are things that millions of people over the age of 60 could be paying less for, or in some cases, paying nothing at all. If you are watching this and you are in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, or if you help an older parent or relative manage their finances, it is absolutely worth spending the next 12 minutes or so going through this carefully, because the savings involved are not small. For some households, we are talking about hundreds of pounds a year. For others, it can be significantly more. The cost of living in the UK has placed real pressure on retired households over the past few years. Many pensioners rely on a fixed income, the state pension, perhaps a small private or workplace pension, and in some cases, pension credit or other benefits from the DWP. When that income does not stretch as far as it used to, every pound saved matters. What makes this topic so important is that these exemptions and reductions are not given out automatically. In most cases, nobody from the council, the NHS, or any government body will knock on your door and tell you that you qualify. You have to know about them, and in many cases, you have to take a step to claim them. That is exactly what this channel is here to help you do. So let us go through all 5, one by one. If you live in England and you are 60 or over, you are entitled to free NHS prescriptions. This one has been in place since 1995, and yet a surprising number of people in their early 60s either do not realize it applies to them or have simply never checked. In 2025 and 2026, the standard prescription charge in England is just under £10 per item. If you are picking up 2 or 3 items regularly, a blood pressure medication, a cholesterol tablet, a diabetes prescription costs, that adds up to a very noticeable monthly cost. If you are paying for those prescriptions and you are 60 or over, you should not be. To access this, you do not need to apply anywhere or fill in a form. You simply let your pharmacist know that you are aged 60 or over when you collect your medication. You may be asked to show proof of age, so it is sensible to carry a driving license or passport with you until they have your details on file. It is worth noting that if you live in Scotland, Wales, or Northern Ireland, prescription charges have already been abolished entirely for everyone, regardless of age. So this particular point is primarily relevant if you are in England. There is also another NHS entitlement that often gets forgotten. If you are aged 60 or over in England, you are also entitled to a free NHS sight test. When you book your eye examination, simply let the optician know your age. This is a saving of around £25 each time, and many people have been paying unnecessarily for years without realizing this applies to them. Travel costs are a significant expense in retirement, particularly for those who no longer drive or who rely on public transport to reach appointments, shops, or family. The concessionary bus pass in the UK can make a real difference here. In Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, free bus travel is available from the age of 60. If you live in any of those parts of the country and you are 60 or over and have not applied for your pass, it is worth doing that as soon as possible. In England, the rules are slightly different, and it is important to be clear about this. Under the English National Concessionary Travel Scheme, free off-peak bus travel has historically been linked to state pension age. From April 2026, the eligibility age in England is rising to 67 in line with the increasing state pension age. However, London operates differently. If you live in London, the Freedom Pass is available from the age of 60. and it covers buses, the underground, trams, and more. Some other local councils in England also operate their own supplementary schemes, so it is always worth checking with your local council to see what is available in your specific area. The detail that often gets overlooked is that many people who became eligible some time ago never actually applied. The pass is not issued automatically. You need to contact your local council to apply, and in most cases you can do this online. Missing out even for a year or two can represent a significant amount that has simply been spent on bus fares that did not need to be paid. This is one where there is a great deal of confusion, and it is important to be precise. There is a common belief that everyone over the age of 60 or 65 gets a free television license. That is not the case, and it is worth being clear about what the current rules actually say. A free TV license is available for households where someone aged 75 or over lives, provided that person dies or a partner living at the same address is in receipt of pension credit. The current TV license fee is £180 per year, so this is a meaningful saving for those who qualify. If you are 75 or over and you already receive pension credit, you will need to apply for your free license through TV licensing. It is not applied automatically. You can do this online at the TV licensing website or by calling them on 030079 They will verify your pension credit status with the DWP as part of the process. There is another point many people miss here. If you are approaching 75 and you already receive pension credit, you can actually apply a little early, before your 75th birthday. And TV licensing will adjust the arrangement so that your free license begins automatically when you turn 75. There is also a 50% discount available for anyone who is registered as severely sight impaired. That applies at any age. And if you live in sheltered housing or a qualifying residential care home, there may be a different arrangement in place through what is called an ARC license. It is always worth checking with the warden or administrator where you live. Council tax is one of the largest regular outgoings for many retired households. What a significant number of pensioners do not realize is that there are multiple routes to paying less, or in some circumstances, paying nothing at all. The first is the single-person discount. If you live alone, you are entitled to a 25% reduction on your council tax bill. At the national average Band D rate for 2026 and 2027, that is a saving of close to £600 per year. This discount is not applied automatically. You need to contact your local council and inform them that you are the only adult living in the property. The second route is through pension credit. If you receive the guarantee credit part of pension credit, you will usually qualify for what is called council tax reduction. And in many cases, this can cover your entire council tax bill. This is an enormously valuable entitlement, and it is one of several reasons why claiming pension credit, if you are eligible, is so important. The third route is less well known and deserves particular attention. It is called the severe mental impairment disregard. Under the Local Government Finance Act, 1992, a person who has a severe and permanent impairment of intelligence and social functioning, which includes conditions such as dementia, Alzheimer's disease, and Parkinson's disease, can be formally disregarded for council tax purposes. This means they are not counted as an adult living in the property. If you live with someone who has such a condition and that person is formally disregarded, it can result in a 25% discount on your bill. If that person lives alone and is the only adult in the household, the property can become entirely exempt, meaning no council tax is owed at all. To claim this, two things are required. First, a registered medical professional, usually a GP or consultant, must certify that the person meets the criteria. Importantly, doctors cannot legally charge a fee for providing this certificate. Second, the person must be in receipt of a qualifying benefit. most commonly attendance allowance or personal independence payment. This is where confusion often begins. Many families are not aware this exemption exists at all. And crucially, if it has not been claimed from the point when the condition first met the criteria, it can be backdated. That means some households may be entitled to a refund going back months or even years. It is genuinely worth looking into if this situation applies to someone you know. The fifth area involves help with energy bills, and the rules here have changed a number of times in recent years, so it is important to describe where things currently stand. The winter fuel payment is a tax-free annual payment worth £200 for households where someone is between state pension age and 79, or £300 where someone in the household is aged 80 or over. In 2025 and 2026, this has been restored to all pensioner households as a universal payment, meaning it is not means-tested as it briefly was in 2024. However, from April 2026, HMRC will recover the payment through the tax system from individuals whose taxable income exceeds £35,000 a year. For the overwhelming majority of pensioners, this threshold will not apply. In addition to the winter fuel payment, there is the warm home discount, a one-off reduction of up to £150 applied directly to your energy bill by your supplier. Eligibility rules vary by supplier, so it is worth checking with your energy company or looking at the gov.uk website for current guidance. There is also the cold weather payment, which provides £25 for each week that the temperature in your area is recorded at or expected to fall to 0 degrees Celsius or below for 7 consecutive days between November and March. This is paid automatically if you receive certain qualifying benefits, including pension credit. The common thread running through everything we have covered today is that these entitlements almost never arrive on their own. Nobody sends a letter saying, "Congratulations, you are now 60 here are your free prescriptions." Nobody writes to inform you that your council tax could be reduced because your spouse has been diagnosed with dementia. These are things you have to know about and, in most cases, take action to claim. The other thing that often catches people out is the link between pension credit and so many other entitlements. Pension credit acts as what is sometimes called a passport benefit. Qualifying for it can unlock free TV licenses, full council tax reduction, cold weather payments, help with NHS dental and sight costs, and more. Yet official figures show that up to 900,000 households across the UK who are entitled to pension credit are not currently claiming it. In many cases, people assume their income or savings make them ineligible, when in reality, they would qualify. There are several straightforward things worth doing based on what we have covered. If you are 60 or over and in England, let your pharmacist know your age the next time you collect a prescription. If you have been paying for prescriptions, ask for a refund for any recent items you should not have been charged for. Check whether you have your concessionary bus pass in place. If you are in Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, or London, this is available from 60. Elsewhere in England, check with your local council for what applies in your area. If you are 75 or over and receive pension credit, contact TV licensing to apply for your free license if you have not already done so. Contact your local council to check whether the single-person discount is applied to your bill. If you live with someone affected by dementia, Parkinson's, or a similar condition, ask your council about the severe mental impairment disregard and speak to their GP about the certificate required. And if you are not sure whether you might be eligible for pension credit, use the pension credit calculator on gov.uk or call the pension credit claim line on 0800991234. Even a small entitlement to pension credit can unlock a range of other support. If you have been watching this and thinking it might apply to your own situation or to someone in your family, the best approach is always to check rather than assume. None of these entitlements have a penalty for applying and finding you do not qualify. The only cost of not checking is the money that continues to leave your account month after month unnecessarily. Rules in this area can and do change, so it is worth revisiting them periodically. The information we have covered today reflects the position as of 2026, but it is always sensible to verify current eligibility directly with the relevant organization, whether that is your local council, the DWP, TV licensing, or your GP surgery. To bring everything together, first, free NHS prescriptions are available to everyone aged 60 and over in England, and free site tests too. Second, free or concessionary bus travel is available in Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, and London from 60, and through local schemes in parts of England. Third, a free TV license is available to those aged 75 and over who receive pension credit. But you must apply for it. Fourth, council tax can be reduced through the single-person discount, through pension credit, or through the severe mental impairment disregard. And in some cases, it can be eliminated entirely. Fifth, energy support through the winter fuel payment, warm home discount, and cold weather payments is available to many pensioner households and should not be overlooked. Together, these 5 areas represent potential savings that run to hundreds and, in some cases, thousands of pounds per year. The money is there to be claimed. It simply requires knowing where to look. If you found this useful, please do subscribe to Retirement Money UK. We cover topics like this regularly: state pension updates, DWP benefit changes, pension credit, savings, tax, and everything else that matters to people in retirement in the UK. You can also leave a question in the comments if there is something specific you would like us to look at in a future video. Thank you for watching, and take care.